I often return to games that are even more fun than I remember. Reign of Fire is not one of those games. Based on the forgettable movie with an interesting premise, Reign of Fire reminds me a lot of DC movies. But instead of what if superheroes were real, it asks what if dragons were real. Of course, people would try to tame them, ride them, some people would be sexually attracted to the dragons, and that would be an issue. Yeah. Dragons are hot. You play as an unnamed survivor, or multiple survivors. You don't really play as a character, more so a vehicle, I guess. It's a lot like Twisted Metal, but instead of clowns, it's dragons, which sounds like a Skyrim mod. Anyway, you play a linear set of missions while battling the flying lizards. Though there's also these little runny guys, which I don't think were in the movie, and this is a huge problem for the game, because although it's very short, there's only like 3 enemy types. You have the ground runny guys, the flying dragons, and the big boss dragon at the end, and I think that's it. I think there's like one more. I could be forgetting someone, but yeah, variety. This game has not. I don't know why I said it that way. I'm Yoda.
We're getting floored by the...
Another issue with this game is that since you're often fighting dragons, you're always aiming at the sky, which is disorientating at best and nauseating at worst. There are some different camera angles, which helps a bit, but it never feels all that comfortable. Even when you play as the dragons, which yeah, you can do, it's always just off. It feels weird and strange, and I don't like it. Now I know what you're thinking, this game looks good, and you're right. Graphically, it does look good, and it looks fun to play. The world is a barren wasteland, with most of the vegetation being scorched and consumed by the dragons. It's been a while, but I think in the movie, the dragons are starving to death, which the world in the game conveys really well. It's also a great excuse to have all kinds of off-road vehicles, with scrap metal and guns mounted on them. It ticks that masculine part of the brain, activates my neurons the same way Mad Max does. But while Mad Max takes place in modern-day Australia, Reign of Fire is a post-apocalyptic England. Instead of sand, we got dirt. We also got trucks, vans, and tanks.
They were dragon slayers. They taught us something about the dragons we had long forgotten. It was our planet, and they were only renting it.
Everything looks great. You can call Reign of Fire bad, unfun, not worth playing, which I do, but you can't say it's an ugly game. I mean it is, but ugly in a good way. Even the fire, which dragons, duh, looks decent enough. The game also never dipped below 60 FPS. Even the UI is super easy to read and understand, and it fits the theme. I have my vehicle health, dumb rockets, heat-seeking missiles, map, and temperature at the bottom? I don't know what that one is. But even the subtitles are in a cool green font. They didn't need to do that, but they did. I miss when games' UIs fit the game's theme. They could have used some crappy generic Arial font subtitles, but yeah, they didn't, and I love it. We need to bring back stylish UI and menus, damn it. So the game looks fantastic, but looks are deceiving. Because wow, it feels real bad to control. This is where my praise stops. It's also where you'll just have to take my word for it, since you obviously can't feel the game. So you know how in Halo, the Warthog is a bit squirrely? Ultimately, you can still get it to where you want it to go. It's got a predictability to it. Well, there's none of that here. I get I'm driving on dirt and mud, with vehicles that have seen better days, but still, it's more slippery than a lube convention. And before you say Jay's my name, Jay, there's no such thing as a lube convention, then I would say, well, it's clearly obvious you've never been to Lubricant Expo, the largest lube-focused convention in North America. Speaking of vaguely sexual things, this game is hard. The missions are very linear, and if you're really not on the objectives, you'll quickly fail it. I think a lot of games don't need to be open world, but this is a clear example of it going too hard in the other way. It's very handholdy. You'll drive around killing dragons before they kill the people you gotta protect. or you'll destroy a generator, or you'll put out some fires. It mixes it up a little bit, like one time I had to pick up some guys with a van, or snatch up a dragon egg, but it's never anything mind-blowing. The coolest parts are one level taking place by Tower Bridge, and killing the male dragon, which ties back into the story.
The bull went down a couple of clicks ahead on your current bearing. Follow the radar and close him down.
So in the movie, there's one male dragon that breeds all the female dragons. If you kill that one, then yeah, no more dragons. So the final human campaign level has you doing that, and the sense of skill is pretty cool, and you get to drive a tank, which is also really cool. On the flip side, there's a dragon campaign. It too controls like ass. It's actually not the worst thing ever for a game that feels like it focuses on the human campaign. You can hover in midair, shoot fireballs, spray napalm, and use a few aerial dodges. You can't land though, which feels like a missed opportunity. My favorite thing to do though is picking up and dropping vehicles and people. You also get to destroy helicopters and airplanes, which is more variety than the human campaign gets you. I also just think it's a cool idea. I love evil playthroughs. I'm already doing that in real life, like when I enter a place of business, see someone behind me, and hold the door open for them. But they're a slightly awkward distance away, so now they gotta do like that half jog thing, which isn't fun for them, while all I gotta do is stand there holding open the door.
Dragons.
I love a good sound, so let's talk about it. Reign of Fire has action music so generic, I'm assuming the file name is literally actionmovie1.wave. It's nothing great, but it's serviceable. You'll also be hearing lots of gunfire, regular fire, and explosions, which could be annoying if the sound effects were worse. I do appreciate the chaos in some of the later levels, but it's kind of the worst of both worlds, because it's not so bad it's funny, but it's not so amazing either. It's just solid and forgettable. I don't know what to say about the game's sound. It's just okay, it's there. Stop watching the video. Let's talk about the story. A game based on a movie must have a great story, right? Well, not exactly. A bad story then? Try no story. So typically in a movie game, you'll play levels following the plot of said movie, with cutscenes being clips from the movie, setting up what you're gonna do and why. Director, what's my motivation? Why must I fight these dragons? Well, Reign of Fire doesn't really do that. They sometimes play a movie clip, but it rarely provides any context for the level. In fact, the game even uses a couple character names from the movie, but if you haven't seen the movie, you'll have no clue who Van Zan is. I guess that's not entirely fair. The opening cutscene does a good job setting up the world, the dragons, why things are the way they are, and it does use clips from the movie with a narration.
Remembering the beasts as myth and legend. It's too late. We discovered the truth. That the dragons were all too real. It was they that had destroyed the dinosaurs.
I don't know if it's straight ripped from the movie whole cloth, but whatever, it does the job. But all it does is set up the world. Minesweeper has more character, which is a reference my rapidly aging audience will understand. But anyway, I don't know, there is no story. You want a story? I went to the clinic the other day, okay? I had some pain in my big toe. It was really weird, it was strange, I usually don't have that. I was drinking the night before. He said it's probably gout. There's your fucking story. It's better than Reign of Fires. See you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.